It's Charles Barkley with Wayfair. It's outdoor season, and my patio setup better be ready to play. That's where Wayfair wins. Patio seating, umbrellas, and grills, all delivered fast and easy. Shop wayfair.ca now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Montreal, the everyday
and the extraordinary.
The Elias Macco Show
on CJAD 800.
It's Charles Barkley with Wayfair. It's outdoor season, and my patio setup better be ready to play. That's where Wayfair wins. Patio seating, umbrellas, and grills, all delivered fast and easy. Shop wayfair.ca now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
iHeartRadio is throwing it back.
2010s, the decade.
To the days of huge hits and unforgettable anthems. A non-stop stream of the biggest and best.
Drake, Rihanna, Beyonce, Katy, Gaga, The Weeknd,
and more. All your decade-defining favorites, all in one place.
Hi, it's Katy Perry.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
This is Kesha.
Find 2010's The Decade on the free iHeartRadio app. Preset the station so it's always one tap away.
Like many municipalities, Westmount took a run at reducing the frequency of garbage pickups. It went to bi-weekly, once every 2 weeks, in a bid to encourage people to produce less waste, do more recycling, and that type of thing. Now it is decided to restore weekly household garbage pickup, and here to explain why is the mayor of Westmount, Michael Stern. Welcome to CJAD, Mayor Stern.
Thank you for having me on your show.
When did Westmount move to once every 2 week trash pickup?
I don't know. It's before my time. It could be in late 2024 or 2025.
And since winning election, what have you heard from residents about how they were dealing with the reduction in frequency?
So what I found while I was running for mayor, that there were a lot of people expressing difficulty they were having with the garbage being collected every 2 weeks. And they would come to municipal meetings and were it's almost exacerbated, like having a difficult time asking what can be done about that. And they were told you should be composting more and you should be recycling more. And these people answered, I'm doing the best I can and I'm still struggling. And they were struggling with a variety of different issues. First of all, this is Westmount. We're on a hill. It's different than being in the suburbs. Many of the houses are row houses. They don't have garage space. They don't have that much space. And we also have, so if you keep your garbage in a bin outside the house near your stairs, we have a lot of animals coming down from the top of the mountain at night. So people were expressing difficulty, with space, but leaving garbage for 2 weeks resulted in all kinds of infestation of animals and odors and things that they were really having difficulty with.
And this was in residential parts of Westmount, not necessarily along the commercial strip on Sherbrooke Street.
Yes, correct. On the commercial side, garbage was always being picked up every week. We went to bi-weekly before my time, really for residential.
So you have decided to reverse that, to bring back once a week garbage pickup. Will that entail a significant cost for the city?
No, the cost is minimal. We have the cost, if you divide the additional cost by 5,500 taxpayers, it's not even $2 a month per taxpayer to go from every 2 weeks to every week. But it's not so much about cost. I mean, we should really go back to what the goal is here. The goal is ultimately to reduce to a minimum what goes to landfill. This is far beyond just Westmounters and Westmount. It should be the goal of all of us. We have to do the best that we can at recycling and composting. And if you look at composting, recycling, and garden waste, that's about 2/3 of what we throw out. True garbage is only about 1/3. So the question is, how do we get to that? So it was initially felt if you force people to hold on to their garbage for 2 weeks, it'll cause a behavior such that they will automatically do a better job at recycling and composting. And while there is some evidence that that is the case, that's not necessarily the experience that people have. There's so many people who have come up to me and say, "You asking me to hold on to my garbage for 2 weeks beforehand, and I'm doing the best I can, and it's not reducing the amount of garbage. I just have to hold the same amount for the 2 weeks."
Is recycling and composting pretty well observed in Westmount? Are people pretty vigilant about putting their yard waste into their compost bins, their kitchen scraps, making sure that paper and cardboard boxes and that type of thing end up in the recycling bin?
Yeah, so Westmounters, first of all, are very well educated. And I must say that the City of Montreal did an independent study of the 15 cities on the island of Montreal, separate cities, and found that Westmount is far above the average in terms of what we've minimized that goes to the landfill and maximizing composting and recycling. Westmounters are educated and from every day I see very conscious of the environment and wanting to do the right thing. I think what we need more education and maybe some additional alternatives. So when I restored the garbage, I did that almost immediately when I became mayor in November 2025. I started again this weekly garbage collection based on the hundreds and hundreds of people who've told me this is a big issue for us and we need your help. I challenged our administration to come up with alternatives, look at best practices, look at other cities. There's a particular problem, which I'm sure other cities have as well. There's certain material you cannot compost, like diapers, dirty diapers, and we even have an elderly population with young kids with diapers. Of course, we have an elderly population with diapers as well. I don't know how prevalent it is, but it is there. And there's a lot of cat owners, and they tell me you cannot compost kitty litter. So we have to find alternatives. We're looking at different alternatives. There's a city in Ontario that actually is able to treat these diapers as medical waste and treat it with a different supplier. So we're looking at different alternatives, and it's taken time. And the main reason we restored garbage to weekly, we had to make this decision now for the 7 months starting October 1, because it was scheduled to go back to every 2 weeks. So it was our opinion, mine and the council and the majority, that our people are just not ready for this, and we have to do a better job at educating people.
Do you feel that the measures that you're looking at, the kitty litter options, the diaper options, and so on, will they be enough to fend off what I am sure will be criticism by environmental groups that you're backtracking?
I do care about what people say, but I have to do what's best for the people. And the goal, I said from the beginning, Westmounters being so environmentally friendly, being so well educated, we should be a trendsetter. We should be a model of what is reduced, the level of reduced garbage going to landfill. And I am confident we will be. But it's a question of many different avenues, like I just mentioned, whether dealing with the diapers or education. I can tell you the thing, and maybe I shouldn't, it's funny to say, I believe, first of all, that we are doing a very good job with recycling, and we've been recycling in Westmount since the year 2000 approximately. And composting, we've been composting since I think 2008. You'd think there would be enough time, people would get better and better, and I think people are getting better. My own experience, after I became mayor, I started critically looking at my garbage more than ever before. It's easy, you're busy working all the time, you may not pay that much attention to it, but my own experience is I started really to question what really goes into my garbage and what could be, and what I found is that I was putting in the garbage a lot of things that could be composted. And that one big example is used paper products, such as Kleenex, napkins, Bounty, even cosmetic remover pads. I don't use cosmetic, my wife does. And all these things could be composted. As a result, what I did, my own experience, I have 3 little bins in every bathroom and in the kitchen, one for composting with the green bag, one for recycling, and one for garbage. And it takes a bit more time, and you get used to putting things in the right bin. And I found my garbage has drastically been reduced. I have a big gray bin that everybody has for garbage. It must be, the one that's 4.5 feet, 5 feet high, almost 4.5 feet maybe. It used to be full and gradually got reduced and reduced. And by employing these measures, I have no need for that bin anymore. I have one small garbage bag every week. So for me personally, I don't care if you pick up my garbage every week. I've been able to reduce this, and I've asked the administration, if I can do this, maybe it's a good learning, we should try to show me as an example. And I was recorded the other day doing a short video of me, and hopefully it'll inspire other people to do the same.
Westmount's Mayor Michael Stern. Coming up after our traffic check, we will speak to a woman who grappled with anger, a lot of anger.
It's Charles Barkley with Wayfair. It's outdoor season, and my patio set up, better be ready to play. That's where Wayfair wins. Patio seating, umbrellas, and grills, all delivered fast and easy. Shop wayfair.ca now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Oh my God. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus. Now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen.
Cheers.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch.
This is
The Elias Macco Show. News Talk Radio. CJAD 800.
First heard about this woman in a piece written by Mike Cohen, a Montrealer who had to come to grips with a lot of anger in her life, a very angry person. And in order to work through that, well, it was quite a process. She has now written a guided workbook to help others walk the path she walked, and it is called The Phoenix Path. We welcome to CJAD 800, Talya Pardo, author of The Phoenix Path. Talya, welcome
Hi.
to CJAD.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Tell us about your anger.
Oh, well, I mean, it's a long life story. It's, I guess, anger is a primal emotion, right? And when you're not regulated or you haven't been taught tools about how to navigate those emotions, it can take the steering wheel of your life and direct how you engage with others, how you express yourself. And it was a big part of how I dealt with my life. And it was very explosive. It was definitely a yeller. And it got to a point, after marriage, kids, divorce, life in itself and the stresses that it brings, I started to see the effects of my behavior on my children when they were young. And that was really the point where I started to realize I really need to start changing something or, nobody's going to be very happy.
How were they responding to your angry outbursts? How were you seeing that reflected in them?
Well, I started to see my behavior reflected. That's how they would behave back to me. That was really the turning point when I saw my older daughter yell right back at me. And it was a moment of like, oh my God, where did she learn? Oh, that sounds very familiar. That looks very familiar. And it hurt me. It was very saddening to me to see that, because that's not what we want for our children. We always want the best and we're always doing our best, but to see our own, I guess, not failings, but, challenges being reflected, we don't want to pass that on. And so that was what really started my awareness of, wow, what I do really impacts them. And not only that, what I would find was, I would get upset and then calm down and kind of be like, okay, let's kind of move on. And they were not in the same space. I could see the hurt on their faces, and the repair was just that much more difficult to kind of move through. And those were really my motivating factors.
Did it take you a long time to work through and get to the source of the anger, deal with the source?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's an ongoing process for most people, I think. because it has so many layers to it, right? You know, we talk in the healing world about, you know, getting to our inner child or our childhood experiences and trauma, but it's not only about that. It's really also, there's learned behavior, there's communication styles. How do we, like, what language do we use? How do we become aware of our bodies? Because anger is a very psychosomatic, like it's an experience that is not just of the mind or the emotions, but also of the body. And so how do we become aware and in tune with our bodies and how we're reacting in that moment? And so it is a long process. And, you know, with any experience like that, when we have to spend time, it has its stops and starts and its ups and downs and, you know, 2 steps forward and 1 step back. It's about breaking patterns, and that's not easy, especially when you're also just trying to live your life, right? And always facing new experiences that might put you in a different situation that you have to deal with. So, it does definitely take time. I'm no expert. I will always say that I'm the first person to admit that I've had those challenges. I've come a long way. I still face moments where I need to marshal myself, but at the same time, I have so many new tools at my disposal and such a deeper understanding that I move through it in a much healthier way. And that just always keeps me moving forward.
And you do have a professional credential now in anger management training, I guess you would say, with the National Anger Management Association. Is the Phoenix Path based on your experiences personally, just your experiences personally, or is your training also coming into it?
Oh, for sure. My training comes into it because that training was excellent. It really gave me a broad scope and actually taught me things I didn't know about the physiological anger response and why it can take people off guard so quickly. You can go from 0 to 100 in a second because it really is like a reaction in the brain that takes under a millisecond to spark, and then it can take up to 30 to 60 minutes to run through your body after it stimulates your adrenaline and your cortisol and all the hormones that are associated. So that ties in as well. And so, yes, my training is a wonderful foundation and platform to help me organize and really gain deeper insights. But my own experience also has also directed how I created this book.
Given that it's a guided workbook, the Phoenix Path, is this something that someone can kind of go through on their own and try and get a handle on their experience, or is this something that they would need counseling in conjunction with?
Oh, well, it is definitely something anyone can work with on their own. That was my intention. To be able to give somebody a tool that they can work through at their own pace as well, because there's so much and you really have to spend the time with yourself. There's no timeline on it. So it's a resource to let people work at their own pace. Every individual's experience is unique to them. And so it can be very personal and very private. It's also something that can be used in conjunction with any kind of professional support. My, goal is to create a cohort of a group that we can go through it week by week, for additional support through their revelations and their breakthroughs. But it's absolutely something that anyone can use independently.
And Talya, where do people find out more about the Phoenix Path?
It's available on Amazon. You can also find out more about that and my work on my website, phoenixrisingmentoring.com, or reach out to me and have a chat. Also,
we very much appreciate the interview.
Thank you so much. I do as well. Thank you very much.
Talya Pardo, author of the guided workbook, The Phoenix Path. Next topic is about the rising cost of housing in a community that I think a lot of people just assume is all affluent, and it really isn't. We'll talk about the housing crisis on the West Island. That's after we get a check of news.
This newscast brought to you by Supermarché Akavan, where fresh, hot bread is baked on the spot every day. Freshness you can taste, quality you can trust.
It's Charles Barkley with Wayfair. It's outdoor season, and my patio setup better be ready to play. That's where Wayfair wins. Patio seating, umbrellas, and grills, all delivered fast and easy. Shop wayfair.ca now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Oh my my God. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus, now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen. Cheers. Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch.
Missed something?
Subscribe to the Elias Macco Show podcast to catch up.
Available on iHeartRadio and wherever you get your podcasts.
You might think the West Island is largely affluent. However, there are people there struggling to pay rent, and they're talking about rents going up into the stratosphere very suddenly. We'll get a portrait coming up next.
Missed something? It's never been easier to catch up.
Find CJAD 800 podcasts on the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Or click audio on our page.
CJAD800.com.
CJAD800.com.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Oh my God. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus, now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen. Cheers. Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap.
It's Charles Barkley with Wayfair. It's outdoor season, and my patio set up better be ready to play. That's where Wayfair wins. Patio seating, umbrellas, and grills, all delivered fast and easy. Shop wayfair.ca now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hello, Canada.
This is Bryan Adams Radio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
We'll play a few of mine, a ton of my favorites, and some must-hear behind-the-scenes stories from the world of rock and roll.
I'm coming to get you!
One thing about doing rock and roll so long is you end up meeting a lot of the people that you admire. Sometimes you even get to work with them.
It's only love, and that's all. Bryan Adams Radio. I'm coming back to you. Now available on the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey everybody, how are you tonight? Sounds great.
Stories impacting Montrealers. News impacting Montreal. The Elias Macco Show. News Talk Radio. CJAD 800.
Well, yes, the housing crisis is touching the West Island. As affluent as you think that place may be, there is a need for affordable housing there, and a number of tenants are finding it increasingly tough to find places that they can afford. Joining us now is Lily Martin, community organizer with the Comité d'Action des Locataires de l'Ouest de l'Île. Lily, hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Paint the portrait for us of the need for affordable housing on the West Island, because I think a lot of folks think, well, that's a pretty affluent as an area. Is there? Have you put a number on the need?
Yeah, there's absolutely a huge need. I think it's a pretty big misconception that everyone in the West Island is like wealthy homeowners. While that is the case for a lot of people, about a third of the West Island population are renters. We know that there's pretty significant wealth inequality between like homeowners in the West Island versus renters, with renters earning significantly less. And there are definite pockets of poverty. The situation for tenants in the West Island does not look good. About a third of tenants in the West Island are spending more than 30% of their income in housing, which is considered unaffordable. And then in terms of social housing, while there are units of social housing in the West Island, so what we would refer to as HLM or habitation à loyer modique, I'm not quite sure what the English is there, those units are reserved solely for seniors. So in terms of social housing options for families and individuals, really the only option there is PSL or subsidized units, and there are not very many of those to go around. So there's a huge lack of social housing and, in general, off-market housing, and the rents in the West Island are some of the highest rents in the province as a result of that.
Let's talk about that. Have they been rising in lockstep with what we've been seeing in other parts of the city, or are the rents, going up more slowly or more quickly?
There was a recent article that was published, I believe in the 1510 West, looking at a recent report from rentals.ca. It's a great write-up. I would recommend checking that out. 1510 West is a local print news media for the West Island. But they actually observed that in certain areas of the West Island, so Point Claire, for example, we're seeing the rents increasing, whereas the general trend throughout Quebec has been a slight decrease. Point Claire is an interesting case study because there's been a huge amount of new construction in the last couple of years. So the conventional wisdom is that, if we just build more housing, the rents will go down because we're increasing the supply. But in fact, in Point Claire, we've seen record rates of new construction, but the rents have also increased at pretty dramatic rates. I believe it was around 16% rent increases that we saw according to CMHC data. So that really points to the need to be constructing specifically social housing and options that are going to be off the market rather than these luxury rentals that frankly nobody can afford. They're sitting empty and they're also gentrifying the surrounding areas.
How can landlords on the West Island get away with hiking the rent so dramatically?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a couple of answers there. I mean, unfortunately, there are rent increases that are dramatic that are also legal according to the current system of rent fixing that we have. In the past couple of years, it's been a huge topic in the media, these really high rent increases. Last year, people were seeing 6, 7, even 8% rent increases that were legal according to the rent fixing formula. And even with the changes to the rent fixing formula, we're still seeing tenants that are really being made to bear the burden of any repairs that are being done, renovations. Tenants are paying over a period of 20 years, according to the new rent fixing formula, completely for repairs that are done. So there's the legal aspect where even if landlords are following the law and giving rent increases that are quote unquote legal according to the law, we're still seeing tenants getting these pretty dramatic rent increases, which is why we would really like to see a rent freeze and the implementation of mandatory rent control that is solely based on the real cost of running the building. And then unfortunately, we also see on top of these legal rent increases, we see large numbers of tenants that are getting illegal rent increases. And unfortunately, it's really on the tenant to, be informed of their rights. So be informed of what a legal rent increase actually is, be informed of their right to refuse that rent increase, and then go out and actually refuse it and fight it. And we know that there are a lot of tenants who don't know what their rights are. There are many tenants who are scared to refuse a rent increase. They're scared of retaliation. They're scared of what the legal process actually looks like. And then, actually going to the TAL, especially from the West Island, it's quite a journey. So that's very daunting for people, especially seniors. We work with a lot of seniors who are on a fixed income, who obviously can't stomach high rent increases, but many of them are afraid to refuse for fear of retaliation or for fear of a complicated and long legal battle.
You mentioned a couple of solutions like a rent freeze, tougher rental controls and more social housing. Are you making any headway with any of the municipalities on the West Island in terms of getting social housing on their radar?
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly trying. We, in the recent municipal election, so I guess not so recent now, but last November, we released a series of a call to action with 10 points that we would like to see from the municipalities in the West Island, because there is this idea that, the housing dossiers are purely in the domain of the provincial and federal government. And while there is a lot that rests on the provincial and federal government and a lot that needs to be done on that level, there are specific things that municipalities can do, such as you said, courting social housing developments, nonprofit housing developments, It's tricky in the West Island because unfortunately a lot of the local elected officials and leaders out here seem to think that either there aren't tenants in their municipality or that everything's fine, everything's good, we don't need this, which couldn't be further from the truth. But we are going to keep pushing for the construction of social housing and working with other organizations to hopefully do that.
Well, here's an example of what our guest Lily Martin may be up against. A text in from one of our listeners. I bought a building to make money off it. I didn't buy it so she can be comfortable in it. Lily, do you have a response?
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, I think we need to, as a society, think about what is a right. So everybody should have a right to housing. Housing is a basic need. We all need to have somewhere to live. Do you, as a home owner who bought an investment property, do you have a right to profit? I don't think so. I don't think that that's a right. If you buy something as an investment, whether it's property, whether it's stock, there's no guarantee that that's going to make you money. That's a risk that you're taking. And when you're purchasing property in Quebec, especially rental property, you should be aware that there's a civil code. So there's a civil code that lays out rights and obligations for landlords and tenants. And if you are thinking of purchasing a property as a landlord, as a quote unquote investment, then it's your job to get informed of what your obligations are. It's not the tenant's job to, cave, pay you more simply so that you can make money, right? We're talking about someone's basic right to have a place to live.
Lily Martin, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Lily is a community organizer with the Comité d'Action des Locataires de l'Ouest de l'Île.
It's Charles Barkley with Wayfair. It's outdoor season, and my patio set up, they'll be ready to play. That's where Wayfair wins. Patio seating, umbrellas, and grills, all delivered fast and easy. Shop wayfair.ca now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Oh my God. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus. Now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen. Cheers. Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch.
My great thanks to Maxime Cadot, content producer of the Elias Macco Show, Jay Farrar, technical whiz in master control as well. Dario is standing by with the news update, and of course, stay tuned for the Vassy Kapelos Show immediately after that. We're still enjoying some sun here at the corner of René Lévesque and Papineau in the eastern part of downtown. We will be seeing cloud this afternoon, though, and a 30% chance of showers or a thunderstorm still. I hope you enjoy your afternoon.
It's Charles Barkley with Wayfair. It's outdoor season, and my patio set up, they'll be ready to play. That's where Wayfair wins. Patio seating, umbrellas, and grills, all delivered fast and easy. Shop wayfair.ca now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hello, Canada.
This is Bryan Adams Radio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
We'll play a few of mine, a ton of my favorites, and some must-hear behind-the-scenes stories from the world of rock and roll. I'm coming to get you! One thing about doing rock and roll so long is you end up meeting a lot of the people that you admire. Sometimes you even get to work with them.
It's only love, and that's all.
Bryan Adams Radio.
I'm coming back to you.
Now available on the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey everybody, how are you tonight? Sounds great.
You're listening to the voice of Montreal.
News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
An iHeartRadio station.
The newest tracks.
Let's go.
New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.